Hey there, you're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today it is time for another little vlog. And this is where I currently am. I was going to take you to the ocean today, but it's so cloudy. So I decided to take you here instead. It's lovely. Greenery, so important. And I am going to switch out the camera and I'm going to join you after this little cut here, and we're going to talk about New Year's blessings. Hello, here I am, and I am talking to you about New Year's blessings today. And it's still a little bit awkward to record, I'm not gonna lie, because I have to remember to look at this tiny little camera down here in the corner, and my face is like right here. Woo, woo. But today is January 2nd? January 2nd? No, 3rd. No, it's the 3rd. Okay, yeah, it's the 3rd. 2021. And I felt it was time to do another vlog, sharing some wisdom with you. And it's kind of a lovely day. It's a little bit sprinkling. It's a little bit sprinkling, so just a tiny bit. It's been really wintry here. So I am wearing my favorite new scarf from my mother-in-law right here. Okay, so I gotta remember, it's always so hard not to look at me. I want to look at the camera right there. So, New Year's blessings. So I am, if you have not yet heard, I'm part of a new channel called The Grand Dames, which has been a real blessing for, sorry about shaking the camera there, a real blessing for all four of us. And it's been one of those wonderful serendipitous things that happen that just everyone's life is enriched as part of it. So in our last stream, which was our Christmas stream, we talked about New Year's resolutions and how we don't do them. And I proposed that instead of New Year's resolutions, that we do New Year's gratitudes or blessings. And so it's January 3rd. A lot of people are perhaps starting out on their New Year's resolution to lose a bunch of weight, or go to the gym, or stop that destructive habit, or whatever it is. And most resolutions, I have noticed, are bookmarked with pain. What I mean by that is the resolution starts with pain. I hate that I do this thing. I wish I could change this thing. This thing is making my life difficult. And they usually end with pain. Failure of being unable to complete the resolution. And so I came up a few years ago, I'm sure I'm not the first person, but in the Jessa channel Discord, and I'm going to hold this more carefully because it's kind of shaking there. There we go. In the Jessa channel Discord, I came up with this idea of New Year's blessings, where instead of bookmarking the end of your year with pain and, how many of us complete those resolutions? Not a lot. And so instead, we would look back on the past year and look at what went well. Because if it went well, then it could keep going well, don't you think? And so if you could remind yourself that wild and awesome things happened, even the smallest of things, then perhaps couldn't more wild and awesome things happen this year? And it's a way to, instead of looking back, it's pretty much worldwide in agreement that 2020 was pretty awful. Around the entire planet, most humans, the 7 billion of us, would agree. You know, I think there'd be a majority vote on that. But good things still happened. And we learned, which is a good thing. And we grew, which is a good thing. So I'm going to invite you to share your New Year's gratitudes and blessings in the comments. And I'm going to share mine. And I'm going to share them somewhat quickly because it's cold out here. It's not warm. And this beautiful cashmere scarf is wonderful. I'm going to tuck it in a little bit because it's chilly. And Grandma Jessa getting a little bit cold. So, my New Year's blessings. Well, let's see. There are so many. And by the way, both of my Discords, the Grand Dames Discord and the Jessa Channel Discord, has a blessings section going on right now. And reading through people's blessings, oh my God, bring tears to your eyes. Amazing. Both of those Discords are really beautiful spaces. And I often think, hopefully I'm nowhere near. Hopefully I'm 30 or 40 years away from my end of life. But I'm getting to that time where I think about the years I have left are less than the years I've already lived. And when I think about what I've done in this life, if I were to shuffle off this mortal coil tomorrow, the things I am most proud of by far is my marriage. And then after that is the communities that I have created through the Jessa channel and through the Grand Dames. And the Grand Dames I had help with, of course. That's all four of us created that community. Because, man, those Discords are they're like the super coziest, most wonderful pajama party, comfort place, warm tea and cookies type of lovely, huggy places. There's no negativity. There is sometimes some sorrow or pain. People come in and say, I've had difficulty with this or that. And they get hugs and they get love. And in the Jessa channel, we have this kindness cat cafe. All it is a place where if you just need something to kind of perk you up, you go over and you type a command and a cat shows up. You get a picture of a cat. You can type in the command as many times as you want. You can also type in someone's name with a command and give them a hug. Isn't that awesome? Just like a hug. So if someone's like, hey guys, I need a hug, they'll just run over to the cat cafe and give them hugs. It's awesome. So yeah. And I think the thing I'm most proud of in my life is that none of those things would have existed if I hadn't done the personal work to develop, to get clear on what my values were. And then live by them stringently. And that is, I think, the biggest reason why I have a happy marriage. And I think I've said this in a Grand Dame stream, but I don't know if I've said that to you guys. But the main foundation of our marriage is that we do not disrespect each other for any reason. No matter what. Ever. There's no excuse. For example, when I went to the hospital a few years back and I got a major surgery, that was a terrifying experience. And once I found out I needed the surgery and I accepted that, I mean, and it was not like I had time to think it over. It was like the doctor was like, this needs to happen now. As in the next few weeks, you're going to have your butt in the hospital. You have enough time to prepare and, like, you know, write out stuff about what happens if anything goes wrong and all this kind of scary, terrible stuff. And then boom, you're gone. You're in there and you're in recovery. I was absolutely respectful and kind to my husband the whole way through that. He had two surgeries, one year after the other, and even though he would be in pain or struggling, you know, he needed to be respectful to me too. There's no like, oh, I had a bad day, I'm sorry. No, when you really commit to that, it is powerful. And it means that our marriage is safe. And some of you might be sitting there thinking, but Jessa, come on. We're human. We all make mistakes. That's true. That's true. And if one or the other of us makes a mistake, a genuine mistake, not I really don't feel like committing to this, so I'm going to half behind it. Let's try that word. You know, I'm going to do this halfway. And yeah, I mean, that's not making a mistake. That's choosing not to commit. However, if you are 100% committed, but you have a human moment, then, yeah, what you do is the responsibility is on you who have made the mistake to acknowledge it inside yourself. There have been times when I've said to myself, Jessa, you will not do that again. That is no longer an option. I am removing that from the table. And you can see my glasses are getting all kind of spotted here, so I'm going to take them off and just slide them in here under my cape here. There we go. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So it's the responsibility of the person who made the mistake. It's not the responsibility of the hurt person to say, you hurt me and all this, you know. My husband and I have been together long enough that we will turn around after we have done something, which doesn't happen very often, but if it has, we'll just turn around right there and apologize, or within a short period of time, an hour or two, because both of us recognize, okay, wait, no, that was not okay. We had a situation last night where we had both of us we weren't disrespectful, but we weren't 100% listening to the other person. And I turned to him and I said, you know what? I should not have said that. I should have said this instead. And he said, I went upstairs, and in the time it took me to go upstairs, he had written a message to me that said, and you know what? I should not have done this. I should have said this instead. So, and some of this kind of discussion that he and I have with each other, and I am going to get to my New Year's blessings, but some of this that he and I have had together is due to co-op gaming, which is really fun. But it requires two people to work in tandem together, and sometimes you kind of get some little bumps. Let's just say that. So we have had to sit down and discuss like how we want to play together, and you know, it's basically the same thing, working together with anything, you know, and finding out what the other person needs. And so yeah. Anyway, New Year's blessings, because I'm going to get these out kind of quick. I'm going to try and cover my arms up a little bit more. There we go. I'm wearing a cape. Little cape. My beloved capes, I have I have 4 of them now. And this year I'm going to buy my 5th one. I love these capes. Look, it looks like I'm a Muppet hand. It's a Muppet hand. But I'm going to hold the camera with these over my hands because it's cold. It's cold, it's cold, it's cold. And after this, I'm going to go run home and I'm going to ask my husband to get one of my favorite soups, which is this smoked salmon chowder. Oh, so good. And some crusty bread. I'm going to dip it in the soup. Yummy. And then we're going to play Skyrim together because I'll talk about that. And I don't want to get too distracted, but we've been playing Skyrim together. And too late on the two getting distracted. I like vlogging. What can I say? So, first of all, let me tell my New Year's blessings, and then I'm going to try not to put this in front of the camera. And then I will tell you about Skyrim Together, which is a co-op mod, which has been working pretty cool, and I'm wondering if you guys would like to see us play some Skyrim together. Anyway, my New Year's blessing, my number one New Year's blessing is the Grand Dames. Actually, the Grand Dames came about because of the most horrible thing that has happened to the whole world, and that's COVID. If it weren't for COVID, the Grand Dames would have never have happened. How it came about is the quick story is that Shirley and Mary and I did a PAX panel, and we traveled to Seattle to PAX, and we did a panel together. This year, PAX is online, and I wanted to do another panel. So I went to Shirley and Mary, and I said, let's do this panel about grandma gamers, and we'll have it be like a tea party, and we'll wear hats and gloves. And they both said, cool. And I said, I think we need a fourth. And so I went to Reddit, and they told me, you should talk to Britta. I'm going to have to hold this with two hands. I'm going to try and do it there we go, like that. And so they said, you should talk to Britta. And I said, okay. And long and short of it, Britta joined us, and there were four, and we were complete. The Grand Dames has been a fantastic success. It has been a real blessing for all of us. It has, we have formed new friendships through it. We've solidified or deepened our friendships. My friendship with Shirley is legendary. It's so, we are so close. And that has been a wonderful thing this year. I was already friends with her, but now we are close. We talk about what our challenges are, and, we keep each other's secrets, and we, not secrets, but, private information, personal information, our personal stories. And we are deeply connected, and I care about her so much. And, she's just beloved to me. She's beloved. That's the truth. And then Mary, it was so wonderful to see Mary shine this past stream. She wore Mickey Mouse pajamas with the Mickey Mouse ears and everything. Oh my God, it was so cute. It was so awesome. And that is the moment when Mary just became just totally, we got to see who she was, and she has been sharing her experiences, and we've just been, and Britta, man, she is one super powerful woman. She is such a joy to know. I think she's absolutely wonderful. I swear I love her. She is so great. Oh. And she also, by the way, the Dames wouldn't exist without her, really. Because, or at least the channel and everything wouldn't look as wonderful and be moving along. Sorry about that. Something in my eyeball. Moving along as fast as it has without her. She and I sat together. She didn't know me really from Adam. She did not know me before that panel. We talked once to set it up, and that was it. And now I consider her to be a friend. So, the Grand Dames. So my number one blessing is the Dames. And my next blessing is I grew even deeper, more connected with my husband and as a wife. I'm very proud of my marriage, and I'm very proud. The thing I have done better than anything else in this world is be a wife. I am a great wife. It just sounds so cocky. But it's not. It's just, I know I do this well, and not without my challenges, not without looking myself in the eye, so to speak, How do you do that? And saying, Jessa, no, you will not do that again. That is no longer an option. The commitment I have to my marriage is profound. It's deep. It's in my soul. It's in my very essence. Um, every vow I made to my husband on my wedding day, I have kept. I've not broken not a single one. Never would either. Excuse me. Nose starting to run because it's cold. And yeah, I know. Isn't this like a super attractive vlog? I'm like sitting here shivering. My nose is kind of running. You guys are like, hmm. Hopefully it's still pleasant enough to watch. So, Skyrim together. So those are my two main blessings. I have a few others. I started a personal project with a friend of mine that I am very much looking forward to unveiling. It'll take some time to get there, but I'm very, very excited about that. And I deepened some friendships despite COVID. I'm thinking of a friend right now. She moved, but she is still really close to me. Another friend of mine who lives in Canada, who I've talked about from time to time, she and I are super close, and she was actually one of my bridesmaids, and she and I have Zoom talks and just like talk for hours. I mean, so I don't feel like I've lost friendships or friendships have stagnated. Partly that's because I am a natural on the internet. In other words, that's my natural environment. And so, when everything, all the lockdowns happen and we have needed to practice social distancing, honestly, there was a part of me that was a little relieved because I like being home. I like to come outside like I've done today, and I like to sit and go to the ocean and take a walk in the forest or go to the beach. Go to the beach with our son, which is another blessing. Our son moved to where we are, and that's been awesome to spend more time with him. We have to be careful because of COVID, so we go outside and do things. But, I mean, we live in a place where outside is absolutely glorious, so it's no problem. And I have a little grand dog. His name is Butters. And he's a little yap yap dog. And I love him. And I'm doing my doggy voice because he a good boy. And I just say I love him, and he just tail just go, and I say, Grandma just loves you. And, and his tail just wags and wags and wags, and I say, oh, Grandma just loves you. You're the best dog in the whole world. So anyway, I kind of had a Butters moment there. So that's another blessing, and that actually happened because of COVID too, because where he was living started to get kind of nuts, and work became very scarce and hard to find, and his job laid people off, and it was just, so he basically came to us, and so that was wonderful. And oh, and another huge blessing that happened towards the end of the year as a result of COVID again is my husband and I started gaming together, and just he discovered that, oh my God, he loves gaming and he's really good at it. And I'd never imagined that I'd be able to share my passion with him. He has always not been much of a computer person. I do all of our computer stuff. If something goes wrong with his computer, he comes upstairs and he goes, um, honey, boo, hey, could you come downstairs for a minute? With this kind of shaky voice, and I'm like, oh Lord, is it smoking? Has it caught on fire? So yeah, going into Skyrim and romping about. He's playing a character, a Khajiit. He loves the Khajiits. He loves their tales. Named Sabari, and I am playing a red guard named Zoja, and he pronounces Sabari pronounces Zoja's name, Zoya, Zoja, Zoya. It's so cute. And his Sabari is super childlike, so my husband likes to jump up and down in the game, so he just bounces all. It's like adventuring with Tigger in Skyrim, and which is super funny because one of my early nicknames for him was Tigger, and when he was not feeling well, I'd say, oh, Is Tigger's tail drooping? Oh, what's the matter? And he'd be like, and I'd be like, come here, boo. And he'd be like, so, so I mean, naturally, when he saw the Khajiit, he was just like, right on that, like white on rice. And he just likes to bounce around. He plays in third person, and he just bounces all throughout Skyrim. We did get our faces wrecked, totally wrecked by some bandits because we were level 1 adventurers. We skipped the, well, he did the Helgen sequence once. And then we started a new game because I wanted to add some more mods in and basically mess around with some crap. And this time I decided to start us out with the alternate start because you can't do the Helgen sequence together in the Skyrim co-op mod. But anyway, my question to you is, would you like to see us do some Skyrim Together gameplay? Would you like a tutorial on how to set up Skyrim Together and play it yourself with someone in your life? You can play it with more than one person, but I would recommend not going more than like 3 or 4 at the most. 2 is prime, 2 people playing it together because, I mean, it's a mod. It's unfinished. It's buggy. However, if you're willing to forgive some visual glitches and be willing to do the quests where you sometimes have to separate to complete the scripted events and then come back together to do the dungeons and stuff, as disconnect from the server, I mean. And, you know, if you're willing to learn a little bit about how to do a server and all that, it's not really that hard. But I can teach you if you'd like. So, I think that's it. So tell me your New Year's blessings. Tell me if you want to see Skyrim Together. Tell me if you want me to do a tutorial on how to set it up. And tell me how you're doing in 2021. And it's cold now, so I'm going to go have some soup. And, oh, one more thing. So you guys noticed in December there was not a lot of channel content. I posted 1 episode and 2 announcements, and that was all I could get out. And part of it was just tiredness. I'm telling you, it's tiredness and just needing a lot of rest and a lot of self-care. And then some of it was that I've taken on the dames on my plate, so I have to manage 2 channels, and that's a little bit challenging. But I do have, I was not idle. I was recording a series, which is complete. I was recording Lord of the Rings online, not online, Lord of the Rings War in the North, which is the first game that my husband and I played together that he took to. He just loved that game. He played it through twice, once together and then once alone, and with me spectating and watching him wreck face. It was awesome. So I thought this would make a good series for the channel, so I recorded it and played it through a second time too. And that series is all done, and it is starting next week. Not next week, let's see. Tomorrow, Monday, the 3rd, a little 1-episode series goes up of a game called Tukoni, which is very sweet. And then I'm now committed to putting up episodes every Monday and Friday. And I feel like I can keep up with that schedule because, I mean, my days of doing 2 episodes a day are long gone. And so there's content coming out in January. Yay! And I hope you guys like the Lord of the Rings playthrough. It's actually a really good game. So if you can get your hands on it and play it with someone, I do highly recommend it. It's super fun, particularly for someone who's never played, you know, computer games or RPGs before. It's great entry into computer gaming. It's pretty simple, but still quite interesting, and it's really neat to follow along with Frodo on his, you know, as a, it's pretty, it intertwines with the books very, very well. You know, it's, so if you're a Tolkien purist, you will not be offended by this game. Well, that's not true. There's one thing that you might not like, and that's that, the mage character who is from Rivendell, she's an elf from Rivendell, can shoot bolts out of her staff. And I think that might upset people who know that that's not possible in the world. Otherwise, I think that's the only thing that they did that is deviant from the books and games. Deviates. So yeah. I am, I guess I'll leave you with some more greenery and, I'll say bye and see you soon. And thanks, as always, for watching. Bye.